A standard application is an isolated box. It is static. But when you integrate an MCP client, you transform that box into an intelligent agent. Suddenly, it creates a bridge to the outside world, allowing it to discover tools, resources, and prompts dynamically. In this video, we move from theory to construction. We are going to build the consumer side of the Model Context Protocol. First, we will set up the host application, the vessel that holds our agent. Second, we will wire up the transport layer. You'll learn the difference between connecting locally via Stdio and connecting remotely via HTTP. Third, we will code the client logic from scratch. We will implement handlers for the three core primitives: tools, resources, and prompts. By the end, you will have a fully functional client ready to drop into your own codebase. Your host application is the vessel that runs the MCP client. It can be anything: a simple chat script, a full IDE, or a web application. The requirements are minimal, but specific. First, the application must communicate with an LLM. This is the brain. Second, it needs to host the MCP client itself. And third, ideally, your model should support function calling. This is what allows the client to actually trigger tools. Let's look at a minimal host application in Python. At this stage, it is just a simple chat loop. It takes user input, sends it to the model, and displays the response. Lines 5 through 7 handle security. We load the API key from the environment, never hardcoding it. Line 10 initializes the Anthropic client, establishing our connection to the cloud. Then, inside the main loop, we package the user's prompt, send it to the LLM, and print the text response. This code is our foundation. It works, but it is isolated. Now, let's add the MCP capabilities to break it out of the box. The MCP client acts as a universal bridge. It abstracts away the complex protocol details, allowing your application to focus purely on logic. It has three core responsibilities: first, establishing the connection. Second, discovering capabilities like asking the server, "What tools do you have?" And third, exposing those capabilities to the LLM. In a production environment, you would wrap this bridge in armor, adding authentication and resource filtering, but the skeleton remains simple. Looking at the code, we see two distinct phases. We have the lifecycle methods, connect and disconnect, which manage the handshake. And we have the execution methods, get_tools and use_tool, which handle the actual work. Critically, this design is transport agnostic. Whether you connect via local Stdio or remote HTTP, this class looks exactly the same. And because we never want to block the main application thread, every operation is async. Stdio is the default transport for local development. It works by creating a direct, physical link between your client and the server. Conceptually, your client launches the server as a subprocess. It then opens two pipes, stdin to send commands, and Stdio to read responses. To build this, your constructor needs three things: the command, like Python, the arguments, like the script path, and the environment variables. In the connect method, we use a powerful pattern called async exit stack. First, we define the parameters. Second, we launch the subprocess using stdio_client. This physically opens the pipes. Third, we initialize the client session. This is the protocol layer that speaks MCP. Finally, we perform the handshake. Why use the exit stack? Because it guarantees safety. If anything fails, or when we disconnect, it automatically closes the pipes and kills the subprocess, preventing zombie processes. When your server lives in the cloud, we switch to streamable HTTP. Unlike the direct pipe of Stdio, this transport handles the chaotic nature of the network. Under the hood, it uses a dual-channel approach. It opens a long-lived server-sent events (SSE) connection to receive updates, while sending commands back via standard HTTP POST requests. In the code, the pattern looks familiar, but with a key difference. Instead of Stdio_client, we call streamable_client with the server's URL. Notice what it returns: read, write, and a get_session_id function. This third element is critical. It retrieves a unique session token from the server. You should store this token. If your network connection drops, providing this ID allows you to resume the session exactly where you left off, without losing context. Now, let's give our agent hands. Working with tools is a two-step process: discovery and execution. First, discovery. When we connect, we ask the server, "What can you do?" We call list_tools, and the server returns a catalog of capabilities, names, descriptions, and schemas. Crucially, we must translate this catalog into a format the LLM understands, whether that's for Claude, OpenAI, or others. Second, execution. When the LLM decides to use a tool, it doesn't run code itself. It sends a request. We catch that request and call session.call_tool with the arguments. The server performs the work and sends back the result, which could be text, or even an image. This creates the agentic loop. We pass the tool list to the LLM. The LLM pauses and requests a tool. Our client executes it. We feed the result back to the LLM. The LLM uses the new knowledge to answer the user. For complex tasks, this cycle might repeat dozens of times before the user ever sees a response. Resources are the memory of the MCP ecosystem. Unlike tools, where the LLM asks for action, with resources, the application feeds data to the LLM. Step 1 is discovery. We call list_resources to see the catalog. The server returns URIs, names, and MIME types. It can also return templates. Think of these as dynamic paths, like a log file path requiring a date parameter. The client fills in the blank to locate the exact file. Step 2 is reading. We call read_resource with a specific URI. The server responds with either clear text, for code or logs, or binary blobs, for images or PDFs. Step 3, the integration flow, RAG. This is where the magic happens. The user asks a question. The application or a router LLM analyzes the query and selects relevant resources. We load those resources instantly. We inject them alongside the user's prompt as context. Now, when the main LLM answers, it isn't guessing. It's citing specific data from your local system. This enables powerful RAG patterns without complex infrastructure. The server handles the data, you handle the logic. Finally, we have prompts. Think of these as expert templates that live on the server. Unlike tools, which the LLM requests, prompts are controlled by the user. Step 1, the menu. We call list_prompts to populate a UI. Imagine a /command menu in your chat app. Each item has a name, description, and required arguments. Step 2, the retrieval. When the user selects a prompt, say, debug helper, and provides the language, we call get_prompt. The server takes those arguments, hydrates a complex template, and returns a structured message chain. Step 3, the integration. These messages act as system instructions. We inject them at the very start of the conversation history. This is powerful because it allows the server to export prompt engineering expertise. You don't need to know how to debug Python, you just click the prompt, and the server guides the LLM for you. Let's see everything working together in a complete integration. We start by initializing our MCP client and connecting to the server. In the main loop, the magic begins when the user sends a message. First, our application intelligence selects relevant resources and loads them as context. Second, if a prompt was selected, we hydrate it from the server. We bundle all of this user message, context, and tools and send it to the LLM. The model processes the request. If it decides to use a tool, our client catches the signal, executes the function, and feeds the result back. Finally, the LLM generates the answer. By integrating these pieces, we have transformed a simple chatbot into a capable, context-aware AI agent. Before we deploy, let's run a final diagnostics check on our production readiness. First, connection management. Use context managers to guarantee clean disconnects. For remote servers, implement exponential backoff if the link breaks, wait and retry intelligently. Second, error handling. The network is unreliable. Wrap every MCP call in try except blocks. Log the errors internally, but show clean, helpful messages to the user. Third, security. This is non-negotiable. Validate SSL certificates. Never log sensitive payloads. And always sanitize inputs before they touch your shell. To summarize, you have built a universal connector. You can speak to local processes via Stdio and cloud services via HTTP. You have mastered the three primitives: tools for action, resources for context, and prompts for guidance. You now possess the complete toolkit to build the next generation of AI agents. In the next video, we unlock the advanced tier. We will cover sampling, roots, and multi-server architectures. If you found value in building this client today, hit like and subscribe to track the rest of the series. Drop a comment with what you are building. I'll see you in the next one.